Hey, yo, what up? It's Kevin Lowe's with KVL Media. We back. We in the KVL Media studio with a special edition of the Art of Storytelling. It's the Idea Blueprints edition. We in the building with...
Your man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Kevin Brown, a.k.a. Mr. Rollin, Stix, Mobile Cigar Lounge.
So I met Kevin a while ago, man. I've been knowing him for a while. And but the first time that I seen his mobile lounge setup, the Rollin Stix setup, the VIP lounge,
Yeah.
where he brought all the cigars, we had the drinks, there was music, there was domino table, it was everything, man. I was like, man,
Right.
how did he come up with this idea, man? So I definitely had to have him come on for the Art of Storytelling Idea Blueprints edition.
Right.
Kev, man, how did you come up with this idea, man? Tell me
Man.
about this idea.
Okay, so we'll take it back a couple of years back. Let's first started. I had to have a passion for cigars. Something you have to really create a palette within to find the different varieties and tastings that you like, because like everything else, not every drink or every cigar is going to fit your person. So believe it or not, I started off like smoking cigars around one of my best hobbies, motorcycles. So
Okay, it goes together.
so it's
You know what I'm saying?
I'm deep in the motorcycle world. So
You know I used to ride bikes, right?
yeah, no,
Yeah,
really?
sports bikes. Yeah, I used to race them.
That's when I started off.
Yeah.
I had the Suzuki 750s. I don't have the
Yeah,
high
that's
boost
what I had. I had that
1300s.
Gixxer. Yeah, I had
Yeah.
that 750.
Man, that's,
You riding Harleys now?
No, I'm a Harley. I'm a Harley
Okay,
guy.
you're on the
I'm a
Harley. Okay,
guy. I'm a Harley guy.
you done started leaning back on it. And
I was a
you know?
victory guy. I was a victory guy for a while.
Yeah.
When you crossing them state lines now, it's
Yeah.
like, hey, you got a Harley dealership everywhere just in case
Yeah,
something
just in
go
case
wrong.
something happen.
Hey, like, listen.
Yeah,
hey,
man.
I need y'all to come over here and come pick this up.
Man, I thought about it, man. I'm hitting 40 this year. I'm like, all right, I might cross over to the dark side.
Come on over, cause I'm
But,
telling you, it's a different atmosphere, different lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's the whole camaraderie of brotherhood.
Yeah.
We don't have enough of that, especially as black men. We always find ways to not be a part of the same sets, same avenues. But it's like when you get out there in this world right now, as far as the biker set,
Yeah.
it's nothing but love, man.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have all that comparing and I'm better than this person, you better than that person. You don't have to deal with all of the foolishness of, oh yeah, man, these guys here, you can't go over there to the white set, and I'm like, that stuff don't exist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I love the most. Like, you can go to pretty much any and everywhere. It's like people respect you because of who you are and what you represent with that bike and how you carry yourself.
Man, and there's nothing cooler than when you see a dude riding down the street. He got the cigar in his mouth. He blasting his music. He got the wheels on, man.
Got the
I'm like,
ape hangers and
yeah,
stuff.
got the ape hangers. I seen that. I was like, I could trade my motorcycle. I could trade my sports bike in for one of these. So tell me about the connection. Like you said, that's one of your old pastimes is bikes and cigars. So
No, that's now.
that's now.
That's what got me
that's
here.
That's a pastime. That's what got you in.
me
So
here.
tell me about that connection and how you got into it.
It's and I hate to say it like this, but if it wasn't for COVID, and I'm gonna just say that, because I happened to be, me and my wife, we were up with our in-laws. We were visiting. We were out in the backyard, just taking some puffs.
Yeah.
And one of my uncle's neighbors, he is a big cigar enthusiast. Like, this dude had like a whole, I don't know, I want to say that was a briefcase.
Yeah.
And he came out with all these different cigars. He's like, man, try one. I'm like, man, it's like a candy store right now. Like,
You got options.
What you mean, like, just try one?
Just try one.
He's like, all right, just pick 5. So it's like,
Pick 5.
pick 5. So, you pick 5 and see what you like.
Yeah.
And that's how, like I said, right now, for me, I'm willing to expose other people to how to increase their palate
Yeah.
by letting them pick. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, no, don't just choose what you used to. Try something different.
Right.
Because you'll never know what you really like until you try it.
Right. Especially if you keep going for the same one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like that exposing that way. And when he did that to me, I'm like, man, pick 5. And I'm like a little kid in the store, like, nah, let me grab that.
Let me
So, long story
This one
short,
look cool.
yeah. Long story short, it was just something that just happened. So I was in the backyard and I said, man, what if we had a mobile cigar lounge?
Kitty London, what's happening?
And they looked at me. They was like, what you mean a mobile cigar lounge? I'm like, I don't see that many mobile cigar lounge in Florida.
Yeah.
Now me, I mean,
Mobile cigar lounge.
Mobile cigar lounge.
Yeah.
And they was like, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
And so everybody taking getting a little buzz
Yeah.
and smoking. It's like I hear them like, we're gonna talk about this in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm saying in the back of my mind, we ain't gonna talk about nothing. Everybody gonna be all, drunk up and feeling good. They gonna be ready for breakfast.
They
in the
just
morning.
want them drunk ideas.
Listen, 9 o'clock that morning, we had a meeting. We had a meeting.
Family meeting.
Family meeting. Everybody was responsible for doing some type of research.
Straight up.
Straight up, no lie. Everybody had a part to play in it.
Everybody had a job.
So, COVID actually birthed Rollin Stix Mobile Cigar Lounge.
Brought the family together.
Yes.
Sitting down.
Yes.
You know what? This is cool.
Yes.
And we don't have a cigar lounge that we go to because everything shut down.
Everything shut down.
So what if we had an open air mobile cigar lounge?
Because once we started doing the research and I looked at, the families in Texas that's doing it big, my people in Atlanta that's doing it big, people in North Carolina that's doing it big, and people in Chicago that's doing it big. Like everybody had their own way of doing a mobile cigar lounge. But 2 factors for me is that A, I wanted my ladies also to be comfortable, and B, I don't want the smoke to get trapped in.
Yeah. So
everything has to have the proper humidifications to make sure everything is breathable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The humidifier's got to be pumping.
Yeah.
Everything has to be working the way it needs to do.
Got you.
So when you look at the concept of the trailer,
I
was like, yeah, I'm gonna go buy this, this 7x18 trailer.
Yeah.
Pop these chairs in here, blah blah blah. It's like, nah, hold on, let's do the research.
Yeah.
So I started traveling.
Yeah.
Doing the research. It's like going to the different cigar events and stuff, just to see what people had to offer. Because you have to do your homework. You just can't dive into something you don't really understand the business or really know the business. You got to become a student in the game first.
You got to research.
And not,
Hold on, let's tap into the community. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Kitty London, what's going on?
Great day, great day.
Hey Kings. Kitty London showing love. Appreciate you. And of course, Ms. Kitty, you always have the best questions. So if you have any questions, or if anybody else watching, we got a few people on right now watching. If you have any questions for Kevin, go ahead and drop them in the chat, and we can keep the conversation going, man. Thank y'all so much for being here. But so you started doing the research, right?
Right.
And you were going to different events, and you were taking a look at what some of the other people throughout different areas had going on. What did you learn about that situation?
So 2 things is that I would not be able to house the people inside the trailer like I want to.
Like you wanted to.
And the other thing about it, if I purchase a van or a bus, because I did that too. Purchase one of the small, like the F-250, small buses, like how the Palm Train uses.
Yeah.
Bought one of those. Gutted it out and everything. And long story short, it didn't work the way I wanted it to work.
Man, that's tough, man. And people don't understand, like, the try and the fail.
Yes.
The 2 things I hate. That's what Jason. And hold on, wait. Let's backtrack real quick. Because when Kev walked up, his name's Kevin too.
Right.
My name's Kevin.
Right.
When he walked up, I didn't even notice it.
Right.
But he saw my shirt. And then he looked at his shirt.
Right.
What's the odds that both the Kevins with locks got on a Biggie and a Pac shirt to come and do the interview?
It's what Kitty said already. She said, "Great day, Kings," and it's just the greatness of what we have to offer, because we have that energy, we have that whole camaraderie with each other, and you just know, like, when you genuine, bro, it just
things work out.
Man.
Things work out.
It's like I was telling you earlier, man. It's like I always been a student in the game. I watched how you came up, how you built it up. Like, that was exciting. Like, man, I'm rooting for you. Hey, man, let me know if you need another shooter. I got you. But that's a different story. But it's like it's you find people who are really passionate about what they do, and you find a way to just tap in.
Yeah.
And
once you tapped in,
man, it blows, bro. It does. It's like people like Kitty, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know Kitty from. I mean, I know she did music back in the day, but I didn't know her.
Right.
And when she came over to the lounge, she was like, "Listen, come here. I'm finna introduce you to some people.
Yeah, that's love.
And that just opened up a whole nother
That's
network.
love.
You know, so it's like people like me, man. I'm humble. I'm thankful, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always gonna be a part of that community that's just willing to just help others.
So
Somebody help me.
it's interesting how we can go from, hey, we tried this thing and it didn't work. But when you have a passion about something,
Yeah, you can't quit.
you can't quit because the people start showing up and the ideas start working and the things just start making sense. Let's see. So Kitty was showing love. So she's asking. So in other words, how does he plan to scale his company? So what do you have going on? What's popping for you in 2025? I know you were saying that you started with the idea of having the trailer,
Right.
And then transition to
Right.
open air, right?
Right.
So how was that going for you? Because it started during COVID time, so it's been a couple years. So tell me what that experience was like, doing different events and things like that. What you learned from your research, and then what's the goals transitioning into now that we're here in 2025?
Right.
What are the next steps?
Right. So one of the biggest things is that you have to be accessible and be willing to travel.
Yeah.
Because believe it or not, once I started that website, I had so many people that were reaching out to me from other states, and you know, thank God for social media to where you get into these different groups and you're able to share that information and say, hey, someone is looking for a mobile cigar lounge in, you know, Chicago. Can you go over there and can you meet with this person?
Yeah.
So I referred a lot of business that come through my website.
Oh.
You know, so that's why I say, for me, it's nothing about me. It's about the community.
It's about the community.
Right, and I'm a part of that cigar community. So if I got information that's coming in, I'm not going to just sit on it just because I can't get there. Like, no, I'm going to pass it along and say, hey, you know, here's an opportunity for you to go make you some money over here. So, because I'm in Florida, and you know, I'm not mobile like that yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It don't make sense to go to
Right. Because it's just like, you know, people want you to come out to events, but in that capacity, you're not going to be able to make the money that you would like to make.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm a roller, which that's another story.
Yeah.
So and that's, you know, in that headspace, yeah, of course you'll make the money. But then, you know, when you're logging all this stuff, this furniture, that's not going to happen. But
So,
to go back to like you were saying
real
about
quick,
as far as
hold
the event, okay.
You just touched on it, and it's one of those words that might not a lot of people know what it meant. You said unless you're a roller.
Right.
Can you explain?
So let's say, for instance, like just to give people a general idea. So I have my own hand rolled cigars. I have a wholesale distributor that I go to, and I have a portion of those to where I smoke in the shop for a while, find the one that I really like.
Yeah.
You know, it has to have a nice blend and spice, but he has a guy that's there, and all he do and sits is roll cigars all day long.
Yeah.
Bundles of cigars all day.
Yeah.
That's his only job.
That's his only job.
So, long story short, you have guys that have perfected that craft of rolling, and people will pay you to come to their bachelor party and roll cigars. It's like, hey, I got 10 guys coming over.
Yeah.
Can you come roll 50 cigars for us?
And they just have their custom cigars.
And and right there on the spot.
Yeah.
You already have all the tobacco and everything you need right there.
Yeah.
Hand rolled cigars right there on the spot.
Yeah.
And usually if you're doing something, let's say, you know, if you're rolling about 50 cigars, you can make some real decent money because they pay for everything. You're traveling all.
Got you.
So that's another step into the game of this. You know, a lot of people are big on just like, you know, how they feel about their brand, their J's, you know, their Nikes, their Adidas. Like, everybody like brands, and pretty much that's the same thing like with cigars. There's a certain type of brand that everybody likes, you know. But again, at the end of the day, you know, some of the best cigars, you have to do your research, you know, where they actually come from.
Got you.
You know, I'm not gonna sit up here and I know my guy Kev, he's like, man, hey man, listen, man, let me get one of them them Cuban cigars, man.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna look at you in my personal, preference. Like, let me slide something else to you. Try this
Yeah,
out.
try this one.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not finna sit up and tell you to go buy no $40 and $50 cigar
Yeah.
when I know,
Yeah.
it's
There's some
other
different
quality.
qualities.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. And that's expanding your palate.
Yeah, right,
And that's
right,
what says like a lot of people are not into, but when you really engage in this lifestyle,
Yeah.
you almost kind of like have like no choice because you really want to enjoy it because
Yeah.
no matter where you travel across the world, they may not carry that type of cigar.
Yeah.
You know?
So let's step back to it real quick because I know we were talking about your plans to take over the world starting in 2025, and I could see how much knowledge you have about this industry. Where are you going within this industry? Where are you going, and where do you see this going in the 2025? And like I said, where you at now? Because you tried, you wanted to do the mobile trailer thing, but it wasn't really what it was. And I seen your setup.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about where you are now. Like, what's your thought process for that setup, and where do you see this going?
So right now, the beautiful thing is I'm still doing events to where people call me, and whether it be a birthday party, whether it be some type of engagement, they be like, "Hey, Kev, how much you charge, for your setup for the mobile cigar lounge?" And it's an outside event. Let me know what the bill is and everything. And what I do is like I pack up my tents. Bring whether they want the, and let me give you the names real quick. So you got the presidential suite, which is a suede setup.
Yeah.
It's a green or a pink,
Fancy.
depending on, yeah.
Okay.
And then we have the Griselda.
Griselda.
Yeah.
Griselda Blanco.
Yeah. So
Okay.
all white. Everything is white.
Ooh.
Only thing that I fear the most is, depending on where I'm at, I won't put my white rug down.
The white rug. Yeah. They gotta respect the white rug.
Yeah, listen, and then I have like anything else, you got the blackout.
Yeah.
Everything black.
Yeah.
So
Blacked out everything. Yeah.
depend on what they're looking for.
Yeah.
That's what I bring out.
You got the different themes
Right,
and stuff like
right.
that. Yeah.
So we did an event down in Miami, probably like December 13th, and we went down there, and I'm telling you, it's like this is what people are used to. It's like, hey, Kev, we need that setup, bring that out, So when we do it, I enjoy it because at the same time, one, this is what a hobby that I built on, and that I really get a chance to expand and just be who I am.
Right,
you know what I'm
right.
saying? And really enjoy people who really love the same thing that I love. And then at the same time, I'm traveling, meeting new people.
Yeah.
So every time I put a setup out, there's a business card going out.
Yeah.
It's another referral that's going into there. So out of that, I can actually say it has its pros and cons because it has its peak season and it's going to have its slow season because of the rain, the weather. We can't control that.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, what I'm getting ready to move into now is that I'm looking into opening up my own lounge. I want to tap in to open up my own lounge or partnering with people to where I'm coming in and I have selective dates to where Rollin Stix is coming to your lounge.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like this is a Rollin Stix night.
Right.
Because it's like one thing about it, they know that guy there, he's bringing everything.
Yeah.
So if you just coming in and you just got your your liquor and you selling your wine, well, okay, I just need a space to come in to do what I do.
What you do.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, let's really create that atmosphere for our cultural people to really enjoy themselves. So that's my game plan right now. It's like I don't want to put myself in that box of just being in a brick and mortar at all times.
Right.
No, I want to be in a brick and mortar across.
Yeah, pop-ups.
I want to be able to do that.
Still keeping that same identity of mobile.
Right.
Yeah.
And so with majority, a lot of people, they call me, they say, hey, I'm thinking about opening up, putting a humidor inside. I'm like, okay, who's going to service it? Who's going to do what? And so it's like, we'll cut out, have a deal, and have questions to answer it, and they be like, okay, let me get back to you. Let me do the numbers. I'm like, I already did the numbers.
Yeah.
I can tell you how much it's going to cost. I can tell you how much product you need. I can tell you everything you need to know. I just need to know if you want me to manage it.
Right.
Because if I'm managing and I'm doing the inventory and everything else, now let's do the numbers of what you want off of that.
Right.
Because we know the sales are going to come.
Now it's a real strategic partnership rather than just a service.
Right. And I'm not just sitting back here and just expecting you to keep everything stocked.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Because I know what I want our product to look like at all times.
Yeah.
I know the representation. This is my brand. This is represents me at all times. Right. So once we pop this humidor in here, we have to make sure that everything is done the proper way at all times.
Got you. All right. Well, let's jump back in. Let's see. What's popping? Like our initials, KL. You already know Kitty London. Rapunzel, let your hair down. Yeah, I should let my hair hang a little bit. Hold on, let me see. I ain't got you yet, but you got some hang time over there. Let me get comfortable real quick. Hold on. In other words, the other Kevin, he's wearing. You crazy? Biggie's still the GOAT, man. I ain't nothing else. All right, it's only right to pass a name to someone who can help someone. It's already right. Yeah, for real. Mm-hmm. And I think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, like collaboration is key to any situation, because the beauty of being in business is that you're not able to service everybody. The industry is huge, but being able to be the answer to somebody's question is really going to raise your level of quality and your identity as well. Two greats wearing two greats. I can dig it. Appreciate you. And you already know collaboration is key. Wilkin, he was on the show yesterday. Right. I might just have to get me a cigar. You already know, man. And that's what it's all about, man.
We have them. Yeah. It's about us coming together, and here it is. Let's say we have a hub.
Yeah.
And we know that hub, everybody has a certain thing that they do.
Facts.
So there's no reason why a consumer shouldn't walk in and say, hey, I need this service, or hey, I'm looking for that, and they can just point you to that direction.
Yeah.
And I think that's oftentimes what we miss a lot of.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people have great ideas, but they just don't know how to reach out to people and say, hey, I need your help, or hey, can you assist me in this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So speaking of which, getting back to the idea blueprint, right? So I talk about the idea blueprint. It's one of those things that I had this idea for a long time ago. It's all right. Well, people have this idea. I used to be in the shower. I would have 1,000 ideas every single day. And there's a difference between just having an idea and then sitting down with your family and having a meeting and scheduling out a blueprint. Right. So the way that I put it out is that I break down idea into 4 steps. It's identity, distribution, engagement, and acquisition. So it breaks down idea, right? So you talk to us a little bit about the identity. It's who you are and why you did it. You had this concept, you love cigars, the open air of being in a motorcycle and rolling, and then also when preparation meets opportunity, you have this idea, you have a family support system to where you can turn into this mobile business. You tried some different things and it wasn't you. The indoor thing, it wasn't that. But to give somebody exclusive customized experience of a cigar lounge at a festival or at their location and things like that really defined your identity. Who would you say would be the target that would best experience this type of identity? Because I know when people have a concept for a business, and of course, we kind of talked about it, exposing the culture to cigars and having a selection of cigars. Like, what type of people do you think would best enjoy this type of experience?
I would say it'd be more of our professionals, our established. You know, these are our people who represent us on a day-to-day basis, whether that's your doctors, your lawyers, your principals, you know, your assistant managers, your CEOs. Like, these are the people who pretty much don't get a chance to, how can I put this, be themselves in front of the eye of everybody else. So when you create those lounges and create those spaces that you can able to come to them, now I can do what I like to do, smoke my cigars, have my bourbon, have my whiskey and stuff like that, and I don't have to worry about nobody judging me because of my professionalism on the scale of what I represent on a day-to-day basis. You see what I'm saying? Because we know that majority of the time these people are up under the, you know, a magnifier at all times. But I don't get a chance to just sit back and just
And
relax.
relax.
Like everybody
Yeah.
gotta have me on this pedestal. Like I gotta keep.
Like you gotta say the right thing and all that. Yeah.
So those are those people.
Yeah.
Those ones I pretty much try to make sure that I get a chance and opportunity to cater to.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple of guys that do golfing.
Yeah.
You know, I got a couple of golfers that love smoking cigars. Like that's their thing. They'll be quick to come to me and, hey Kev, you got a 60 gauge? I'm like, no, I'm not carrying that. It's like because I know what sells for, you know, my current market.
Right.
And I'm not in that space just of yet.
Yeah.
To just keep, you know, that
type of stuff in inventory.
That inventory at all times.
Yeah, because you want to make sure that you have it fresh and
right. And I don't have time for anything to get stale. And I know again, I like to cater to the women. Is some women like certain type of cigars,
right?
Whether it be flavor or just natural, you know. So I always have to make sure that I'm keeping the bulk of my cigar community at bay.
And it's interesting because a couple of things that you said really tie into this next question. You said making sure that people aren't, you're in a space where you're with professionals and there's no judgment. You could just relax. And then being able to cater to a certain demographic like women. And when people think about women, they're not necessarily thinking about cigar smokers.
Right.
You think about that old man. But this question kind of ties into bringing it together. So Charity asks, what are some common misconceptions people have about cigars or cigar smoking?
Well, one of the biggest things about the leaf with cigars is that they try to compare it to a cigarette.
Got you.
That's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you look at a cigarette is packed with all kinds of stuff. Yeah. I'm gonna say stuff for lack of better words. I'm gonna say stuff.
Yeah.
But here it is, like when you have leaves, these leaves are grown in, you know, Dominican Republic, Nicaragua. Like there's a whole, you know, state of mind that these leaves go into, and it's more a passion about. Let's say, for instance, when you see somebody who grows, you know, sugarcane,
right?
You know, and I'm talking about back in Jamaica. You know, they're not putting all the pesticides and all the other stuff to really, you know, expedite the growth process. No, this is homegrown.
Hold on,
you know,
we live, but hold on, the microphone's having some type of issue, so hopefully we can work it. But we live, so we dealing with everything, man.
Yeah.
But
that's one of the biggest things. Where people think that cigar leaves, you smoking, it's gonna cause cancer. It's like I would tell anybody, just do your research.
Yeah.
You know, don't go by what everyone else is talking about, what they may be telling you about it. Like, do your own research. Like, there's people have lived, and I'm talking about lived, to be 113 years old, and they smoke.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's like, at the end of the day, don't get caught up in what the world is saying.
Yeah.
Have an open mind to just go in there and explore for yourself and really get a thorough understanding of what that community represents. And I'm not going to be that person that says, like, you know, one of the biggest things is right now people try to put a ban on where you can smoke at and how you can smoke at. Well, that's where people like me come in at. You can't smoke in public? Okay, let's go set up at your space. Or let's go find this space.
Right.
Or let's go build out that space.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody should be able to have their own hub.
To bring together the community,
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
To where they feel comfortable no matter what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's the part of life that I feel like, you know, that's my mission.
Yeah. So it's interesting, man. Like they asked Barack Obama one time, and I never knew the answer. Like,
by smoking weed.
Do you inhale like
Right.
cigars?
Right.
Because like Black and Mild, cigarettes, trees. What about cigars?
Cigars,
do you inhale?
You do not inhale a cigar.
Okay, so it's official. Like that's the official answer.
You do not, under any circumstance, inhale a cigar. Because it goes back to, and it's the funniest thing. So when people talk about your lungs, you're a smoker, you're inhaling that stuff. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same.
This is a pull.
Yeah.
A hold. A finesse, and let out. No, I'm not. And bringing it out through my nose, my nostrils, and all that other stuff. It's not the same.
It's not the
you know?
same.
So it's like, I hear it oftentimes where people like, oh, you can't do that because you're promoting smoking. I'm like, okay, but again, it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. Yeah,
My,
it's an experience, and I think what ties in together, it was a conversation that we were having offline, to where the flavors and things like that, and how it pairs with certain type of alcohols and things like that, and as you kind of said, like there's different leaves and tobaccos in Colombia and Dominican Republic and these Costa Rica and all these different forms and things like that.
Right.
That is a culture of smoking, to where it's the experience. It's not like to get high. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not to get a buzz. It's a collaborative experience to come together.
But you would get one because the thing is, it's the infusion of the spices in the cigar mixed in with the spices of that bourbon or that whiskey you're drinking. So when they come together, it almost like a husband and wife type situation, and it marries together. It's a thing that comes together so sweet to where it's like you want to have that on a consistent basis because it relaxes you, it keeps you calm, and at the same time, so many people, and I see it and I hear about it, especially when it comes down to the kids, but when you have adults that have mental health issues, when you're in a space and you don't get a chance to actually talk to somebody who you wouldn't even speak on a regular basis, that does something different.
Yeah.
Because I've been in some spaces to where I'm with this caliber of people, and I know they wouldn't even have a conversation with me and you on a regular basis.
But y'all meet with that commonality with this.
And now, when they get talking about certain things, they see it from a different perspective. And now their mind is open to where it's like, 1 minute I was in a depression mode because I have so much on my mind, weighing on my mind. But here it is, I had this guy to come in, sat down, started smoking a cigar, and had a conversation, and he opened up my mind to things that I didn't even think about. Yeah. So that's the other, portion that people don't really get a chance to see. Yeah. And I'm thankful for us as cigar enthusiasts to be in that space and help others out. Like that's the story that people don't hear about. Yeah. Everybody wants to paint that picture of everything that could be, detrimental to your soul and it can ruin you as a person. But nobody think about those stories that have that silver lining that's finally shown to say, man, that man had a conversation with such and such. Yeah. And he really helped that man because that guy was really on the bridge of just calling it quits. Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm thankful for being in some of those spaces. Yeah. It's not my job to go out there and just spread the word and say, hey, well, this guy here had this going on and he was looking like this and that. Yeah. No, that's not that. That's not that. This is one of those things to where we actually get a chance to bond as real human beings. Right. And let our hair down, and let people come in and just really have a conversation. Yeah. And so I think as people, we got to do more of that. Right. I'm not sitting up here telling everybody to go pick up a cigar and smoke. No, of course not.
But the concept is still there. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So. And I think it's even important as men because we don't necessarily have those outlets as much to where we can come together, but as you're saying the story, man, like it's real. Yeah. Because whether it's fishing or golf or whatever, having a nice drink, chilling out, a cigar, it really starts to open people up to where it's like, man, Kev, like how you doing, Kev? Yeah. And then it's not how you doing. Oh, I'm good, because that's always the answer. Always the answer. Nah, for real. Right. Like exactly. What's going on?
You get to dive in a little bit deeper. Yeah. Because when you sit down with someone that can really be having a tough day, like I got a brother that's an accountant. Yeah. And me and him had some conversations, and we really, show how vulnerable we can be as men. Right. All while smoking a cigar. You know what I'm saying?
It's a comfort about it.
I'm telling you,
I'm still a man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like this is still manly. But bro, I had a bad day.
I'm telling you, and break it down. Like, and it's like, and it's like when you start bouncing off ideas, like man, you know what? And then he come back with something like, man, but that. Yeah, because solutions. And so we don't get a chance to do that enough. Yeah. Because we have, as men, we tote the weight of the world on our shoulders. Yeah. So,
Man, I appreciate y'all tuning in.
yeah.
If y'all have any other questions, Nico, I appreciate you giving us a shout out about the contact on the mic. And I appreciate everybody that's dropping in and
Definitely.
asking questions, man. If you have any additional questions, let's keep this conversation going, man. This is a good one. This is a good one. So, resetting the room real quick. Happy Saturday, gentlemen. B. Connolly, I appreciate you coming in and supporting as always.
Appreciate you all.
Nico, appreciate you stopping in regularly, my guys. Hope everyone in the chat has a blessed weekend. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And speaking of which, man, that stories that people share, the story of how you came to be in this business and in this industry, and how it ties together professionals in a field to where they can kind of share their stories, right? The next part of the idea blueprint
Right.
is the distribution. So once you have that message and once you connect with who you are and the people out there, your community and things like that, as a business owner, how are you distributing that message to where it's like, okay, hey, check us out, the community's over here. This is something that we uniquely offer to the world. How are you distributing that message? Like, I mean, you have social media, you got email, you were talking about your website earlier. Even within networking, and stories are being told and messages are being shared. Is there anything that you want to touch on about, like, how you're getting your message about the cigar industry, having a mobile cigar and your company out to the world?
I think one of the biggest things is that you have to be willing to go places that you wouldn't normally go.
Yeah.
Meaning, for instance, you'll go to a bridal expo, right? I'm gonna give you.
I've actually been to one. Yeah. I did some photos at one, an engagement photo, and I've never been to a bridal expo. But somebody asked me because they wanted to get engaged, and I started walking around, and the amount of people that I met that was just like, hey, let me get a card. I was like, I would have never thought to come here. But go ahead.
Bridal expo. So the beautiful thing
See
about
where you're going. Hold on. Hold on. Let me lock in. If y'all thinking, if you know what he's about to say, drop a comment in the chat because I'm locked in. I'm gonna tell you if it was the same. Go ahead. My bad. Sorry for interrupting.
So, no, you good. So the bridal expo, because we both share that same passion for photography.
Yeah.
But at this time, when I pop up to the bridal expo, I'm talking about what the bride can really do for the groom to really enhance that experience. So what I've done is when I pick up my custom hand rolled cigars, I can create a label with the bride and the groom's name right on there. That's one portion.
Yeah.
I can get a humidor with his name on there. I can get the glasses created with their name on it. I can make sure each one of his groomsmen have a cutter and a cigar. So it's going into those different spaces where you would not normally be at.
Yeah.
And show them what you can really offer.
Yeah.
Now, at first, of course, people are like, nah, I'm not, I don't smoke. We don't smoke.
Yeah.
But when you find that one, because remember, we can have 1,000 no's, but all it takes is one yes.
Yeah.
When I finally got that one yes, like the package she paid for,
Yeah.
I couldn't have made that probably selling at least like 70 cigars.
Wow.
That was just done in one wop.
Wow.
So when that quarter came up, they said, well, Kevin, how much you made this quarter?
Yeah.
It's like, go ahead and get your cut now.
Yeah.
Let's get that out the way.
Yeah.
You know, but it's events like that
Yeah.
to where you wouldn't normally be at and
Yeah.
having those engaging conversations.
So looking into different opportunities to share your message about what you do.
Right.
Looking at different spaces as well.
It's all those different avenues.
Man,
that
Kev,
exist. My bad.
go ahead and talk to him.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I gotta Actually, not. We good.
Okay.
Hold on. Remember I was telling you that.
Yeah,
Xfinity
waiting
got
for him to call. Yeah.
Waiting for him to call.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
but
it's those different spaces.
yeah.
You know, being in those places that you wouldn't normally be at, actually promoting that business.
Yeah, talk to the people, man. They're on here right now.
Right.
Talk to them, man.
Yeah.
And
Tap in. Yeah. Okay. People Dance Hall. Let me see. Let me pull that up. People and men especially need an outlet. Happy that you are able to provide that safe space. More specific. Thank you. I appreciate that. Dance with Julie. That's one of the biggest things that when I started this business, I just wanted everyone to be able to come out and, you know, really get a chance to be themselves and not have to worry about, you know, looking over their shoulders and, you know, somebody is always trying to, you know, like I said, keep you up under that microscope and hold you to a certain level. And it's like that's not cool. That's not a safe space for us at all times, to always being held to a higher level and not get a chance to be ourselves. So that's why I think, for me personally, you know, in the cigar community, doing the business the way I'm doing it and being able to expand the business a little bit more, it's going to be able to really bring us together and have certain conversations. And it's one of the biggest things as far as dealing with this business is you got to be willing to be uncomfortable in order to get comfortable. And it's a lot of those uncomfortable conversations that are being had finally with grown men while smoking a cigar and just having a drink, because, you know, usually a lot of people tell their truth when they're drinking. Well, try smoking a cigar. You'll hear some truth in that too, because people get a chance to really say what be on their mind at that current time, because they don't have to worry about nobody that's you know, hey, this is, you know, somebody who we look at as a pillar in the community, and they're not doing their part by going out there and promoting this, promoting that. You know, I don't want to be that guy, and I like what I do with the community that we share right now currently.
Man, that's real. Sorry, I had to step away for real quick.
Good,
when you were just kind of tapping in on the opening of the community.
Mm-hmm.
And all right, Cam Turk says, but where do men find more safe places like this to have these convos?
We can pretty much set it up as to where, let's say for instance, as like Kev speak, you know, we have places like the marina. We have where Darian, the spot that Darian is trying to work out. It's tons of places. Let's say for instance, Doc, if Cam said, hey, man, I'm down in Delray.
Mm-hmm.
Man, let's link up at the park. Let's just have a conversation. Bring a couple of sticks out. We can do that. You know, that's easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because at the end of the day, it's not about just trying to go out there and always. People look at, oh man, I gotta make $1 every time I step out.
Yeah.
It's not about the money. It's the impact you're making in the community.
Right.
You know, and a lot of people don't think about the impact.
Right.
It's like you really want to leave that lasting impression on when you're actually out doing business. When you actually able to have a bunch of men that come together, like, man, that's a nice setup y'all got going. What y'all got going on out there today?
Exactly.
You know, and it opens up to another array of people that could be just passing by. You know, and so those one of the things that I like to, you know, kind of get into.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always willing to go different places.
Yeah.
You know, and do what I think that is best, or what I could be called to do in the sense of what I may be thinking.
Yeah.
But God has so much of a bigger picture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think it ties into the third part of the idea blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
Because what it sounds like is creating a space that's safe to create these engaging conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Even just setting up the mobile cigar and you have people coming in and be like, hey, what you got going on?
Right.
Or even, it might not even be your first thought is, how do I make money off of this? But how do I create an experience that that creates this sense of engagement and community as well? And usually when I talk about engagement, I talk about it in 3 different ways, right? There's educate, entertain, and empower. The empowering part is being able to have these different conversations to be like, oh, you doing your thing, I'm doing my thing. Yo, let's have a conversation about business. And even like these art of storytelling things like this, man, I'm learning so much about what you do, you personally,
Right.
and it's tying into, man, I didn't even think about that for my business. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or yeah, I did that too, and it confirms some of these biases that that I might have had or not had, but it just opens up the door for conversation to let people know it's like, black man, I see you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You doing your thing, and I can still be me and still be able to do something like that, right? So it's entertain, educate, and empower. In crafting your message and going into these new and different spaces, right?
How do I educate the people?
How do you educate the people? How do you entertain them? How do you empower them?
So on the education portion, what I do is I have these small banners, and on these small banners, it tells you about cigars. It tells you what type of cigars. It tells you where they're grown. It tells you the length of them. It tells you the type of cigars. It gives you a whole list of information while you're sitting there at the lounge. It tells you about the different cuts. It tells you, as far as why one is dark, why the leaf is darker and one is lighter. It gives you so much information.
Yeah.
Because one of the biggest things is at the end of the day, I want us somehow, some way, to when you step into my lounge space, that phone, it doesn't exist right now.
Right.
We're having conversations.
Yeah.
I'm learning something new.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's one of the things that we're missing a lot of. Is oftentimes we don't have nothing to keep us entertained.
Right.
Back to the entertainment.
Yeah.
You have the dumb.
Now we're just scrolling.
You have, you know what I'm saying?
Like,
you have the music.
Yeah.
You're telling me about a song I've never heard of,
Right.
but it's like, yeah, man, I used to play this song back in the day when we had this such and such spot, and we used to go and smoke cigars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now I'm being educated on something that I did not know.
Yeah.
And how is us as far as the people, like, how can I really empower you? How can I really help you?
Yeah.
Well, here's the cards. Here's the websites. Here's the business. Or you tell me about what events. You see what I'm saying? It's certain conversations that I can't be in the room at all times, but you may be.
Yeah. And
that, now we're sharing and networking.
Yeah. You somebody that educated me on the industry of cigars.
Right.
And now you could speak on it. So where I could be like, yo, matter of fact, I know another Kevin, and he's a specialist in cigars, and he stands for this. So he educated me, like he entertained that aspect of my life to where it's like, okay, now it's something fun that I could do. It's something knowledgeable that I have. So now I'm empowered to be able to share that message, to share my expertise with other people as well.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know why people feel like I'm an expert in this, and I'm not. I'm going to say that now. I do
You a couple steps ahead of me, my guy.
Listen, I watch a lot of videos.
Yeah.
I do a lot of reading on a lot of this stuff in my time. And there are so many people that will come to me and say, Kevin, let's have a class. I said, a class on what? It's like I want you to host a class. I'm like, a class on what? It's like, I want to know more about cigars. I'm like, so you really want to sit down and you want to just like smoke different cigars? Like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah, what are you trying to do? Let me
actually,
know before I show up. Yeah.
Right. So, and he's like, no, I really want to really engage in that.
Yeah.
I want to know the proper ways of holding it. I want to know the proper cuts. I want to know why is that a V cut? Why? I want to know why I can't just cut the whole thing off.
Why it's not a punch cut?
Right.
Like
And so,
and
I get it. And it's like I tell anybody, it's like, okay, set it up. How come?
Yeah.
Like they told me, like they're at a lounge house. We got a patio lounge area. How come? It's like I don't care. It's like, how much you gonna charge? I'm like, I don't care. It's like, you want a tip jar? Like, huh? It's like, because the thing is, with anything dealing with knowledge, for me personally, I can't take it with me if I die tomorrow.
Right.
But if I give it and I put it in the right hands and the right people, they're gonna know what to do with it and keep it moving, so on and so forth. Or it gives them an opportunity to bounce different ideas off.
Yeah.
Hey Kev, I came over to your class, I learned this, but I think this is one of the things that you can add to your portion of what you have going on.
Yeah.
And so I'm always willing to do those type of engaging activities.
It's a give and a take.
Yeah.
You teach.
And so that's like one of the biggest things that I like to really always still be a student in the game and just learn as much as from anybody else, as much as they learn from me.
It's interesting, man. It's an interesting perspective because people think I'm an expert at photography, and it's like I'm a forever learner. You know what I'm saying? There's so much that I can learn. There's so many people that have been doing it for 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Knows the ins and outs of everything. And I think it's great because if you always continue to learn and you continue to teach, you just keep it alive. So,
Right.
We got another question from Dance with Julie. Have you ever provided a cigar corner at a wedding? So we were talking about wedding expos and things like that, and what brides can do for their husbands, or like an experience that the best man could give their groomsmen, cigars and things like that. So have you ever produced a cigar corner?
So at the actual wedding, no. At the engagement party, so we call it, yes.
Okay.
And, at the actual wedding, no. Would I prefer, or would I like to? Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy just did a big one right now. Like,
Yeah.
he just married his queen.
Right.
Like, he just want to really just throw that jacket on and light up his cigar and grab his drink and just show his boys, like, this is what we do. We bossed up this grown man
Straight
stuff
up.
now. You know what I'm saying? Of course. That like solidifies everything that has happened going forth now.
Yeah.
It's like I've done the big portion of it now. It's like now I want to really enjoy and engage with everybody that's here right now. Create that real atmosphere. Now we're gonna really just turn up.
Yeah.
But again, at the same time, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody. Cigars are not for everybody. You have to know your people, your demographics. You got to know which ones that really engage in this and really going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
So for the most part, when people ask about my lounge, I tell them quickly. It's like, hey, I love your setup, but my husband don't smoke.
Yeah.
Okay, but you want to rent the lounge? I'm cool with that.
Right.
What you want? What set you want?
We got a domino table.
Right. That's what I say. It's like you got everything
drinks,
you need. I come back and pick that stuff up. You know. And so that's why I tell a lot of people is like it's not always about like the cigars.
Yeah.
It's the experience.
Yeah.
You got so much going on right here. The cigar is just a bonus.
Yeah.
But this whole experience, you can't get that. Not too many other places.
Yeah.
Without paying this ridiculous amount of money.
Right.
Prime example. We did a big one when we did that thing on the boat.
Oh yeah.
I mean. I don't know if you all got a chance or seen the photos of what happened on the boat, but that was on a different scale.
It was a different scale. It was a different experience.
Yes.
Different type of experience.
Yes, it's coming back for part two.
Yeah,
we're
about to run that.
Yeah, and think about everybody and how they got out there. That was a whole nother scale.
Yeah.
Whole nother level to where people who heard about it wasn't for sure about doing it because they're like, oh man, it may not be this, but the people who showed up, they really enjoyed themselves. That's the type of atmosphere that I want to just create every time.
Gotcha.
Every time my door is open doing business, I want to have that that creation of man, I know he's gonna have a nice get together, set up and everything else that come along with it.
And I think it's important to note, like, being able to identify who that target market is, letting them know, hey, it might not be this, but we still offer this.
Yes.
Is how you get people to take action. So once you create that engagement and you're educating people in different spaces and things like that, you get them to take an action, and that's the A.
Right.
In the idea blueprint, the acquisition
right.
Is somebody taking an action to do something with you. It's either giving you their email, it's buying a cigar, it's setting up an entire lounge and things like that. What's that process of the different levels to where somebody that's watching this right now can support you? So, like you said, like, they might not even like cigars, but hey, you can give them the experience of a lounge,
right.
something different. What are the different ways and tiers that people can kind of support you?
So let's say, for instance, they're having an event and it's like, Kevin, I love your setup. I don't smoke. Let me connect you. I want to connect with you to get your lounge. I want the Griselda setup. I want the all white everything. And what they'll do is they either contact me on the website, Rollin Stix Mobile Cigar Lounge.com, or they'll call, my phone, 877-741-0941.
Yeah.
So you have those two ways as to what you can contact me and communicate with me and say, hey, this is what I want to do. Or we'll take it a step further. Hey, Kev, I heard that you sold candles. Yeah, my homegirl told me you sold candles. I want that that caramel tobacco. I was like, okay, not bad about it. No, I don't want that. I want that you sell. So I also have my own line of candles.
Word.
Because one of the biggest things to where a lot of my guys always came back and said, my wife hates the way the cigar smells.
Yeah.
That's what made me tap into the candles.
The candles.
Because that aroma in that candle lights up the whole room.
Yeah.
To where you'll never know that guy was actually smoking.
Wow.
Yeah, it's that heavy. It's that potent in smell.
Yeah.
Because, again, I'm going to always keep the women in mind when I'm making sure I'm taking care, my guys.
Yeah.
That's the thing to where that's how you separate your business from what everybody else could be having going on. It's like you have to find your portion in the market to where your brand is being built, but at the same time you're adding something to that next tier to keep you separated from everyone else. So that's in all business.
Yeah.
How do you keep your business thriving? You have to recreate as you go, rebrand yourself.
Yeah.
It's Rollin Stix Mobile Cigar Lounge, but it's Rollin Stix Experience and more.
That's real. That's real, man. It's there's so many different layers to this conversation and opportunities and thought process that's going into the cigar industry, because I would have never even have thought that was a thing, like the candles that you can sell to where it's like, hey, your husband smoking cigars, here's a candle that detoxifies and covers this type
everything.
of smell. Is huge. So there's plenty of different opportunities. How do you focus?
How do I focus? It's honestly, if I'm not busy, it kind of like ruins me in a sense.
Yeah.
Because I always got to always be busy doing something and recreating as I go. And I never want my business to become stale and me become stagnant.
Yeah.
That's why I'm big on figuring out ways how to rebrand, repromote, remarket on what I'm actually offering in my different services.
Yeah.
And so that's why I say, okay, you don't like cigars? Cool. You like a candle?
Yeah.
You want a candle? Cool. You got an event coming up? Which lounge would you like? So you always got to have those different components to help your business flourish.
Right.
In between.
Yeah, man, that's real. That's real. I like this. This was a good conversation, man. This was a really dope conversation. So I'm starting a theme with the show, and I'm not sure if it ties in to this specific episode, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Right.
So every time I have somebody on, I have them ask a question for the next person.
Okay.
All right. And like I said, the art of storytelling is one aspect, and the idea of blueprints is another aspect. But really and truly, the storytelling aspect. So if we can tie in your business to this experience as well, right? The question is, have you? And this was left by Wilkin Brutus. He's a award-winning journalist, right?
Okay.
He asked, have you ever considered interviewing your parents? If so, what would you ask? So to tie it in, so you already ready to answer it. You're already ready to answer the question.
Because I'm going to tell you exactly what she told me.
All right, go ahead. I ain't even going to just go ahead and run with it.
So one of the questions, my mother,
Yeah.
and Lord knows.
So you've interviewed her.
Listen, they've interviewed her, because my mother is deeply rooted in the church. She's big. She's spiritual. She's a Christian walk of life all day. And one of the biggest things they ask her, and I don't know, sometimes it probably be me. Sometimes I feel like, even though I'm her oldest, I kind of feel like the black sheep in a sense, because I don't fit in that box that everybody will want her to have me in a sense sometimes. But at the same time, she loves me enough to let me be me.
Right.
And so one of the questions they ask her is, Dorma, why does your son sell cigars? And her response was, my son is very intelligent and smart. He knows how to manage and run his business. So whatever my son decides to do with his life, I'm going to support it. As long as he ain't hurting nobody and doing nothing wrong, I'm going to always be his biggest fan and support him. So my mother, when it comes down to it, no matter what I have going on, and 9 out of 10, if she's not at church right now or with her singing group right now, she's probably tuning in right now. I wouldn't be surprised, but that's the way, that's that motherly love.
Yeah.
She is content on making sure that I'm going to support my son.
Yeah.
Same way, believe it or not, like people ask you, when you have a wife, it's like, yeah, you should have got married. I'm like, no, I waited on God's time. Like that stuff wasn't coming too early, you know. And my wife, she's a huge supporter on whatever I choose to do. Mm-hmm. She helps level things out. Yeah. She helps thinks things through, because a lot of times she called me the trigger man. Like, I like to move. Yeah. I ain't finna sit up here and be thinking about it. She's gonna sit back and she's gonna analyze it and make sure it makes sense. Yeah. So go back to my mom. I can't really speak on my pops because I don't. That's life. Yeah. But my mother has always been that person that has been a instrumental in my life and everything that I have done.
What would be the one question that you would ask her?
I would ask her.
She answered the biggest one already.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she's there to support you. But what would be the one thing that you'd be curious to know?
How can I help her retire early? Because at the end of the day, and I tell her now, I'm tired of you working so hard, And it's like, you watch the things that she's capable of doing. But that's like one of the questions I would ask her. Like, how can I help you retire from that job? Yeah. I need you to work for yourself. Yeah. You're not maximizing your true potential that I know you have. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I get everybody's not built on being entrepreneurs and all that other stuff. I get that.
But what can you do to support?
Exactly. How can I help you just really just branch out and build your business? Yeah. Create your legacy that I know you have and what you do and that you're good at. Yeah. Because I know I came from you, so I know if it's greatness in me, it's definitely greatness in you.
I'm a part of that.
Right.
Like,
so it's like I know it's so much more. Yeah. It's like come on, we ain't gonna play with it. Like, let's really tap into what I can really help you do.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. Man, I definitely appreciate you for coming through.
Man,
I appreciate everybody for tuning in and asking questions. This has been a really great conversation, man. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that you want to get off your chest and talk about?
I would say to the people out there, if you know anybody and you really love them the way who they are, just have respect for what they do. Don't put everybody into that same category, that same box. Like, respect people for where they're at in their life. If you can really help enhance them or show them that there are some things that they can make some adjustments on, do that. But do it in a way to where you're not, bringing them down. You're critiquing them a certain way to make them feel a certain way. Let's elevate everyone going into this new year. Let's keep the positive energy rolling, and let's just really reach out and tap in and help build each other up. Like, it's as simple as somebody taking your business page right now and sharing it. Yeah. Take it and run with it. You're going to reach somebody who, even though you may not engage into those things that somebody may do, but somebody else may like it. And a simple share is worth way more than a negative comment.
It goes a long way. Kev, I think that's the perfect place for us to end. I appreciate you
Yes,
coming
sir.
through. Love, brother.
Likewise,
And
man.
as
Likewise.
we go into the tradition of keeping it going,
Mm-hmm.
as far as the art of storytelling goes,
Gotcha.
if you could just leave a question for the next person.
I got you. I got you.
Um,
I got you.
yeah, man. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Kevin Brown, Rollin Stix, Mobile Cigar Lounge. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you're watching this and you haven't already, do us a favor. Follow what Kev said, man. If you want to share this video, if you found value in it, if it was a good experience, if it was educational or entertaining or empowering for you, go ahead and share this on your pages. Let the people know. We're definitely going to, the more that we do this, the more guests that we're going to have with some amazing experiences. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that bell for notifications, because we might randomly pop up and go live, man. So you're going to need those notifications. All right, y'all. Appreciate it, Kev.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate the questions, man. And yeah. All right, y'all. Until next time. Kevs.
Peace. Later. Yeah, good stuff, Doc. Good.